Hey, good afternoon. Pulled over to see if I could get the camera on horizontal mode. Move it over here. So I am doing, got my GoPro in the picture. Probably need to stop, take that down. It's not good with the sun, so let me hold you up here. So what I'm doing, driving home, and if I don't turn left at the Y and go up to my town, and I continue on straight, like going over the top of the Grand Mesa, which is, I'll show you for a minute, those hills in the horizon. That's the top, and over the other side of that is the towns of Cedar Edge, Delta, eventually Montrose. But let me do this. So what I thought I was going to do is drive through Grand Mesa and just kind of show, not Grand Mesa, the town of Mesa on the Grand Mesa. There you go. And anyways, so Mesa has, it's kind of a bigger town, but the population is less. But it has an RV park with a store, even fuel. It has a real nice county yard up there on the hill we just passed, and a couple different, there's a part of the county yard too. So the town starts right here. I've got to slow down here. I'm sorry, my GoPro's in the way. There we go. Okay. So this is the town. They kind of hold to this 35-mile-an-hour speed limit. About 10 years ago, there was a fire down in the creek. Some kids started, and a whole bunch of, 4 houses there burnt, and a couple up here. Some of them have been rebuilt. Some of them have just put sheds and RVs up. There is a little post office here, and Mesa Blue Market. So the guy that runs and owns that is the landlord at John's, his taxidermy shop. He also owns that. And there's a Mesa Japanese Thai restaurant, which is really good. Here we have a medical clinic down there. So this is an extension of Colburn, where I live. It's a little more farm to me than ranch. I mean, there's some cattle guys over here too. It's a little more, like they have a community garden here at the community building. And they do more community stuff than my town does, I think. They have a lot of dinners and stuff here. The Winter Craft Show was just here last weekend. But it's just there's more of the county road and bridge department. Yeah, there's a couple of churches here. There's one here right on the corner. The Wagon Wheel Restaurant and Bar and cabins, and there's laundry there. So you can stay there. Now that way, and I'll do that another time, that's Powderhorn Ski Resort up there. So from here, it's only 10 miles. And this town is 10 miles from where I live. So where I live is 23 miles from Powderhorn. So, but it's another older town. It has a liquor store, another church, and a couple real estate offices. This has been a couple things. Right now, you can rent snowshoes and skis there and stuff. There's a little post office. Used to have a coffee shop here called Blink, but they closed down. Another church right here. And, right there. So this is kind of the back way to where I live. So let's set this down for a minute. I don't know what's going on with this road department stuff here. So we've looked at some homes over in Mesa. Where we live right now. People get along better here. Might pour down, but we just can't seem to get it going. So, and I'm turning the I'm not reading comments or anything, so if you're on the live, welcome. I actually see 3 of you here. So I'm doing a live and drive through the town of Mesa, Colorado, which is up on the Grand Mesa, and it's on my way home. I've done a couple through my town, and I did one last week through Palisade, Colorado. So today is Mesa. So they call that in front of us the Beehive. There's an American flag up top, and they make a big thing about Memorial Day hiking up to the top to the flag. So we've done that before. We've helped replace the flag, but it's more open than the town I live in. I think, even though we have a lot of cows and hay fields too, this just gives more of a farm vibe and we're 10 miles apart. So there is a small town between the two, Colburn and Mesa, called Molina, and it basically has a post office that's open like 2 hours a day, and no stores, nothing like the other two have. So there's the Mesa Cemetery. It's actually bigger than the Colburn one. So although we do have 2, well, we actually have 3. One that's really small, but my husband's dad and grandparents, uncle are all buried in the smaller of the 2 in Colburn. But anyways, yeah, it's just a different vibe. See, it's more sagebrush, and they're, like I said, so I live way over. So I follow. I just started following a new YouTuber, camper nomad that is based out of the Grand Junction area, and told him I lived up here, and he's out of like the west side, I think, of Grand Junction area. But roads on the hillside. We've actually looked at property up there, but it would require a 4-wheel drive in the wintertime. And there's like 3 lock gates, so it's a little too remote for this stage of life. We actually, all the way up here, have a domestic women's shelter, domestic violence, and they teach sustainability. So I think it's sold. It was up for sale, and I actually think there's somebody else operating it now. So I'm not sure if it's still a women's domestic violence shelter or not. I'm not really sure, because if it did go through, it would have closed in like the last month. Harris Sod Farms, a friend of mine's. So they're actually, we have such a temperate climate for growing things that it's all uphill. One thing where I live is the roads are not level; they are up and down, up and down. So I know her. Anyways, I sold that. There's houses over here. So we're actually leaving Mesa and getting closer to the little community of Molina. Now they're all in the same color shirts, and that one's going backwards. Smart though, because it's bright colors. Well, that was the old schoolhouse right there for this little community. Back in the day, it's been turned into a house now. Yeah, anyways, thank you for joining me. And I see a few on here. June 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. So I'm in western Colorado. I'm up on the Grand Mesa. And Tammy, hi. And June, yes, you were the first. And I'm driving, so I wasn't reading comments. But I also have my iPad on, so I can sort of see them. So thank you for joining me. It's hard to drive and look at the road and the camera. So I'm sorry it's in portrait mode. Normally it switches over to landscape and it won't let me. It keeps telling me I can't. So I went ahead and went live, since I already had pushed the live button when it said that. And anyway, so there's the next community is Molina. So that's the Molina Baptist Church. And the town of Molina, I'm not kidding, is basically that church. I'm doing live videos, I'm doing recorded videos and shorts, and it's all counts. So on the days I do shorts, I do like 3 shorts a day. Call that Vlogmas for that day. This one will process obviously tonight or this evening. It's 1:54 here. in Colorado, and so it'll process as its own video, but it'll be for tomorrow's Vlogmas, because I already posted some this morning about getting a flat tire on my car last Sunday. And I'm like 4 days ahead on videos, so I just fit the lives in where I can and then bump the regular videos. So anyways, I see 2 of you here. So I'm doing a live and drive. I just drove through a couple of small little towns that are up here on the Grand Mesa of Colorado. I'm on my way home from Grand Junction. I live up there by those White Cliffs, kind of, in that vicinity. So I was just showing some of the little different towns, because I've done a lot of videos where I live, and I thought it would be a good day to just kind of drive through the other 2 small towns. So my town has 700 residents. Mesa, the first town I drove through, has more residents but less population. As far as they have more houses, I think they're actually closer to 1,000. I'll have to look. They're in the 900s at least. And then the town Molina I just drove through, I don't think it even has a couple hundred. So, but you can see it's a very rural community. And thank you for joining my live. I appreciate it. I'm driving, so it's hard to read comments, but I see a couple of you back on here. We had a glitch, and I lost a couple, so sorry about that. But now from here, I'm about 10 minutes from my home, so I just thought it'd be something different. I see a lot of YouTubers do driving. Of course, a lot of them are doing Instacart or DoorDash or Uber. I follow a couple of Uber people and a DoorDash person, or because I do Instacart. But today I went down early and I did some, and then I did some Christmas shopping. So I got my grandkids all taken care of. Boys that are in Grand Junction are 9 and 7, and then we have an 8-month-old grandson in Denver. His first Christmas, so that's fun. And then a granddaughter up in Washington that's in her teens now. So yeah, I just sort of put off getting the kids stuff till the end. I wasn't sure what to get them this year. So anyways, and then my husband and I have to go Christmas shopping tomorrow and get for the 2 boys and the 2 daughter-in-laws in Colorado. And we've already got for each other. We actually both just bought stuff that we wanted for ourselves. So that happens. It's easier. I just tell them I always have a cart full of stuff on Amazon that I need for my vintage trailer. So if you're new to my channel and you're watching this, check out my vintage trailer. I have a 1961. It's a Bonanza. It was built above Salt Lake City in Ogden, Utah. There was only about 5 years of these built, so they're not real popular. They're a little on the rare side. My little vintage has pink appliances. It's very girly, and I just love her to pieces. The box, she's 14 feet long from the tongue to the bumper, but the box, the actual camping, enclosed part is 10 foot long, 6 foot wide, and I just love that little camper. And I'm in some camping groups. I go as much as I can. I'm in some women's camping groups, and I'm in some vintage ones that are more couples and stuff. My husband has his own vintage trailer too. It's more for hunting though, and I go camping just to get away and socialize and relax, and he's more of a hunter type camper. So anyways, I'm getting to my town now. So this is the town I live in, and we have a multi-million-dollar school being built. In fact, so the school's out for Christmas vacation, and those tractors and bulldozers and stuff are going to start demolishing this old brick part of the building that was built in 1964. that'll all be parking. And the new school is the tan and black stuff behind it. So all this brick is getting demolished over the next couple weeks, and that's all going to be parking and bus turned in. This is all new. It's all new football field. Football field actually used to be where the parking lot is now. So yeah, that's something that got approved in the last election we had up here a year ago, because it's a year. This has been going on for over a year. So anyways, again, thank you for joining. I'm going to shut this off here in just a few minutes before I actually get home. So my town, see, is more mountainy looking, more still with the cows and the hay, but it has a little different vibe than, especially the first one we went through. So anyways, this is Plateau City, and it's actually pretty cool. This town has a lot of history. This was supposed to be the big town up here on the Grand Mesa, and my town beat it out. But they started here, and this green building coming up was a huge store. It was the general store back in the day, and there was a pavilion here for parks, in a park. Like there was a park up here where our feed store is, and a pavilion. But that was the old Keystone General Store. There's National Forest access on the Grand Mesa that way, and our gas station. And we did have a NEP Auto Parts. The guy wanted to retire. He couldn't sell it, so he closed it down, and now there's an auction. So we don't have an Auto Parts up here anymore. There's our feed store. And that place burned down, so I'm not even going to show it. Anyways, and then our big claim to fame, probably for employment reasons, this coming up here is the Job Corps that's up here. So kids, especially kids needing the second chance between the ages of 15 and I want to say 19, it's at least 18, can come up here and finish school and learn a trade. And ours up here is mostly tied in with the National Forest Service. So they do a lot of reclamation. They do some water. They go up to the reservoir that's 11 miles above town and work on the dam. They do a lot of flood mitigation work. But they learn a trade. It also has a culinary part to it. So a lot of the girls that come up here, and some of the guys, go through the culinary thing. They do a couple dinners throughout the year, and the whole community can go eat there for free, and then maybe give a donation. So anyways, if you're joining my live, I was doing a live and drive home, showing my little mountain town in western Colorado. So I do have to turn the camera off now, because I have to make a stop. So I appreciate you being along for this, and this will be turned into a video. It'll go live. I will switch this for a minute. Put the camera on me. So I'm Janine, and yes, I live in this cute little town of 700 people. Pretty high altitude. The town is a little bit over 6,000 feet. I live 3 miles above town, and it's a straight climb, so I live quite a bit higher. But anyways, all right. Thanks for joining me, and I'll turn this into a video, so it'll be Vlogmas Day 20, and go back and look at I'm very much into vintage trailers and camping, women's camping groups. Even though I'm married, I do a lot of stuff on my own, and I'm trying to get ready to, after Christmas, to go to Arizona, to go to Quartzsite, Williams. I actually want to look at a piece of property in Williams. So we have our house for sale up here right now. We've lived in our current house almost 10 years, and we're trying to downsize. So my husband and I'm retired from real estate as of a year ago, the end of December, so almost a year now. And my husband still wants to work a couple more years, so yeah. Anyways, I don't know what this car is doing in front of me, but Anyways, thank you. I see a couple of you on here. Please, in the comments, say where you're from, and I appreciate you being on my live and drive. It's a pretty little town. This is a creek right along here on the road, and another creek joins it. And now I'm just turning the camera around because my hands are full and I can't hit the button. There's our rodeo grounds. Like I said, this is a cow town. We also have a community well, so you can have an account and you can get 1,000 gallons of water for $20 a month. So that's pretty good. So we used to live in a dry cabin up here before we lived where we're at now, and we used to haul water. So we had a 500-gallon water tank, and we'd fill it a couple times a month. So for $20, so that's pretty reasonable. Anyways, yeah, tell me where you're from. I hope I didn't lose the signal. Went wonky and looked like I lost the live, but it says I'm still live, so maybe it just came back. I didn't have to push any buttons, so I'm not sure. I'm hoping you're still here, but I see 2. But when it did that, I had 7 on, so I apologize if you got knocked off and had to get back on. Or if you're new, this has been going on about, 10, 12 minutes. And I've been driving through the little mountain towns up here where I live, so I'm going to put it back. I'll tell you a secret, I don't normally drive this slow. So there's somebody sightseeing in front of me, going like not even 10 miles an hour, so anyways, well, I'm going to say bye for now. I live 3 miles up this road, at the base of those hills, so take care, everyone, and Merry Christmas. I'll be doing more lives, so put in the comments where you're from, and I'll try to read those before I actually end it. I don't know if I can, but like I said, I'm driving. But Merry Christmas from Western Colorado, and you can see we're very dry. We had 6 inches of snow a week ago, and now we haven't got anything. It's just been super dry. So we're supposed to get some moisture tomorrow evening into Sunday, and then we have a good chance of precipitation Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but it looks like it's going to be too warm for snow. It's going to be like 39 degrees, and it's very unusual for this time of year. This ground should be completely white, and it should have at least 6 inches of snow on it that stays all winter, and usually we don't see bare ground till late April, sometimes mid-May. The worst years, we've been white still on Memorial Day weekend, so we do tend to get a lot of snow up here. We're just not getting it this year. So, okay, I'm going to end this. So, bye for now, and thank you again.